Hi, welcome to the bathtub. We're not doing any music. We're not doing any frills. Nothing fancy in this episode now. We're doing our special. This is a once in a lifetime 200th episode celebration. It's the Flash-Bang series of the bathtub where we're going to do one quick episode every day until the fat bastard's out of the White House. We only have 2 more days. 2 more days, the fat bastard's out of the White House. He can go wherever he goes and wait for his indictments. And we could we're just going to read our books and just wonder what the hell we've been doing for the past 4 years with these idiots, and just wait for the legal papers to start being served. So until then, I'm just going to do a series of really quick. These are even more poorly thought out than my normal talks, which is really hard. It's hard to do more poorly laid out talks. But I'm doing them very quick. I have my Manhattan, and the idea for today, I want to do two or three really quickly, was that, and without having to think about them too much, is that we have a Facebook page called the Ultimate Beginner Creative Reading and Bathing Group. Let's face it, coming up with good titles just that roll off the tongue, it just isn't my gift. But in this page, we had a couple of our bathing buddies. One is Trent Walters, and Harris Coverley got into a discussion about favorite dystopian novels. Dystopian. So there's utopian, which is the kind of perfect future. I don't know. There's not many utopian novels, as you know. Human beings seem to imagine always the worst things that could happen to them. But in the dystopian future, there's a number of things. I'm not going to sit down and look this up and write a text about this. But the dystopian novel has a few characteristics. One is it tends to present you a whole society and a culture, and usually a world society, but how a society operates. So the most famous dystopian novel, as you all know already, way ahead of me, 1984, George Orwell. That's kind of the classic dystopian novel. It's not just about a person and what happens to them. It's in the course of the story, we go through how politics works, how sex works, how industry works, the history of the world, a sense of usually often the whole world of geography. And we tend to travel across the world to some extent. So we see different levels of the society and how it operates. And it's dystopian, it's definitely kind of bad. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time more than that. That you can call it anything you want. It's not, but the reason I want to bring that up is it's not an apocalyptic novel. We've already done 10 apocalyptic novels, haven't we? And so I can have an apocalypse like Earth Abides. I would not call that a dystopian novel. I wouldn't call any of the apocalyptic novels really dystopian. They're really horrible endings to the world and horrible disasters. But this is society keeps going. I honestly, the 4 years of Trump has definitely been a dystopian novel. So anyway, I'm going to just show you a bunch of different books. I'm going to do 3 a day just so I can get this over with. A lot of these books I don't remember very well. The Space Merchants by Kornbluth and Poland Kornbluth. Frederick Pohl I always found kind of boring by himself as a writer until maybe his late life. But when he and Kornbluth wrote together, Kornbluth was a brilliant comic writer and just smart as hell, and died too young. But they wrote 2 or 3 dystopian novels. The most famous, and the one I haven't read since I was 14, but it's basically a world run by advertising, and they do definitely go across the surface of the world and how it works and how it operates. I remember nothing about this book except thinking it was brilliant. Their other book, Gladiator at Law, I remember liking even more, and I want to do a proper bathtub on that. Thomas Disch is, as you know, one of our favorites here at the bathtub. I used to love Tom personally. I loved his work. I haven't read this since it came out. I was probably 16 or 17, on Wings of Song. It's set in Iowa. I think Tom was from Iowa. Anytime a book by Thomas Disch is set in Iowa, you know it's going to be dystopian and horrible, because he hated Iowa. He hated God. He hated religious people. It's really a prescient book. I mean, basically prescient in the sense that he described Americans as crazy then, and they're pretty crazy now as far as when it comes to religion. And he talks about the God, isn't the God somebody's? The Undergodders. They're the Undergodders of Iowa, and the Midwest is run by these church crazies. And it's about a kid, a kind of Tom Disch, kind of sensitive kid who wants to be an artist. And I can't remember the story very well, but for some reason, he becomes part of a group called the Fairies. Tom was gay, and there's definitely some jokes about being gay in the book, but he doesn't belabor them. But, well, maybe he does. Near the end, he starts to belabor them. But the thing is that certain people have artistic or certain abilities. And their abilities is to become these little fairy dust and fly away from this bullshit. The old bullshit of life. It's a real metaphor for artists and becoming artists. And the kid goes to New York, like Dish went to New York. I remember this book being just... I always found most of Dish's books pretty absorbing. This is one I think people forget, and it's really a wonderful book. And I want to reread that again, too. Finally, just for today, we're just going to do 3 a day until this fat bastard's out of the White House. I love Robert Sheckley. I read this book, Journey Beyond Tomorrow. I don't remember a damn thing about it, except that it is about somebody who's it's a journey to America. So we go back to America and we find out what a fucking mess it is. And he travels across the surface of this nightmarish country. And I don't remember too much about it. I want to reread this again too. But most of Sheckley's books are dystopian novels. They're not post-apocalyptic. He writes a lot of dystopian novels, and this was just the one on the top. You can't miss. You just got to read Robert Sheckley. Okay, all right. Very fast one. We're gonna do 2 more really fast ones. Just whatever dystopian novels I can find on the shelf. Stay safe. 2 days. He's gone. 2 days. He's gonna take his whole stupid family with him.